Hello everyone, this video is all about a galvanometer. So after this video you should be able to explain the working and the construction of the galvanometer. So this is a picture of galvanometer. It is a device to detect a current in a circuit. It does not measure a current, but it just detects the current in a circuit. And out here you can see the two terminals through which we connect it to a circuit. So working principle we have already seen in our previous video. When we keep a current carrying loop in a uniform magnetic field, there will be a torque due to which this coil rotates. So this is the working principle. We make use of this setup. So construction. So as I have said, we make use of current carrying loop. So we have a loop with many turns and it is kept in its position through this axle and jeweled bearing, due to which this coil can rotate along this axis. And this coil is connected to the terminals through which it is connected to the external circuit, and the another end is connected to the terminal through a spring. This spring is called torsional spring, and this is the spring, we call it torsional spring. And the applications are, so we can see torsional spring out here. Even we use torsional spring out here. Even girls uses the torsional spring in their hair clips. I'll show you a video on working of this spring. So as you can see, when you pull the spring, it comes back to its original position. Next video. Okay, so this is how a torsional spring work. So in our case, this spring will bring the coil back to its original position after it rotates. Then we have two poles of a magnet, horseshoe magnet, and it produces a strong magnetic field. And we have one cylinder made out of soft iron inside the coil. The function of this cylindrical core is to concentrate the magnetic field through the coil. So as you can see, all the magnetic field prefers to go through this and it gets concentrated in the middle, and it makes the magnetic field radial through this cylinder. So when the magnetic field is radial, the torque on the loop is uniform every time. So as we have seen in our previous cases, the torque depends on the angle between magnetic field and the position of the coil. But if the magnetic field is radial, every time there will be same torque on the loop, so it moves uniformly. So after that we have one scale and one pointer is connected to the coil. So when the loop rotates in a magnetic field, the pointer moves from one place to another place. So this is a diagram. So you can choose one diagram. So this is from side and this is from the top. So in your notes you can draw any of the diagram you like, or you can draw both as well. So next, this is the real picture of a galvanometer. It's very old galvanometer. So out here you can see there is a coil and strong magnet and pointer and the scale. So this we have already discussed, and this spring is made out of phosphor bronze. So we'll see why it is made out of phosphor bronze at the end of the video. Working. So this is a galvanometer, and when we send the current through it, there will be torque, due to which the coil moves, and with the coil the pointer also moves. But the spring will try to bring the spring back to its position, and when we apply the both, so pointer will show a particular position, and in this position we call it equilibrium position. At this position the magnetic torque and the restoring torque is equal. So this is the main idea behind the working of a galvanometer. Now we'll see the theory. These are the things which we are considering. B is the magnetic field, I is the current flowing through the loop, N is the number of turns, and A is the area of the coil. So we know that torque due to a magnetic field in a current carrying loop is given by NIAB sin theta. So this we have derived in our previous video, but the galvanometer is designed in such a way angle theta is 90 degrees. So radial magnetic field always keeps the angle 90 degree. So tau is equal to NIAB. So if alpha is the deflection, suppose due to this torque this is the deflection, then the restoring torque will come due to the spring, and this restoring torque depends on the deflection. If you deflect the coil with more force, the spring will try to bring it back with more force. So more the deflection, more is the restoring torque. So out here restoring torque is directly proportional to the angle of deflection, and K is a constant. So this is the restoring torque offered by the spring, and K is a torsional constant of the spring. And in equilibrium position, the restoring torque and the deflecting torque due to magnetic field are equal. That's why the pointer is in one position without any motion. So I can write K alpha is equal to NIAB, and alpha is the angle of deflection of the coil. So I can write alpha is equal to NAB I by K. So this terms, N is number of turn which is constant, A area of the loop is also constant, we cannot change, B is the magnetic field due to permanent magnet which is also constant, and K is also a constant due to the spring. So all these terms are constant. So I can write another constant for all these constants. So I denote it by G, and this is called galvanometer constant. So now I can write alpha, that is deflection of the pointer, is equal to GI. So out here I can see deflection is directly proportional to the current. So more the current, more the deflection. So that means I can measure the current using this galvanometer. So deflection is directly proportional to the current, and the scale is calibrated and graduated to read the value of the current. So we send 1 ampere and see where the pointer is going, and we mark that point as 1 ampere. So this is how we calibrate a galvanometer. So figure of merit is the current required to deflect the pointer by 1 division. Suppose out here I have a galvanometer, suppose I am sending 2 ampere current through it, and it is showing the deflection of 1 division from here to here. So that means the figure of merit for this galvanometer is 2 ampere per division. So this is the formula for figure of merit, that is given by G is equal to I by alpha is equal to K by NAB. Just by putting the value of alpha I can get the figure of merit. Sensitivity, so the galvanometer is said to be sensitive if it produces large deflection on changing the or voltage by small amount. Current sensitivity, it is defined as the deflection per unit flow of current. So how much deflection it shows when I send 1 ampere current. So this is the formula, alpha by I NAB by K, and the unit of current sensitivity is degree per ampere. Similarly, voltage sensitivity is defined as deflection per unit potential difference. So this is alpha by V, and V is equal to IR using Ohm's law. So if you put the value of alpha, this I will get cancelled with the value of alpha, and you are left with NAB by KR. So this voltage sensitivity can be increased by increasing number of turn, magnetic field, or by area, or by decreasing the value of K. Similarly, current sensitivity can also be increased by increasing number of turns, magnetic field and area of the coil. So unit of voltage sensitivity is degree per volt, and this is the relationship between voltage sensitivity and current sensitivity. Now advantage of moving coil galvanometer. So it is called moving coil galvanometer because we are moving a coil inside the galvanometer by sending the current in a magnetic field. So sensitivity can be increased. We have seen in previous slide that sensitivity can be increased by changing the number of turns, magnetic field or the area of the coil, or by decreasing the torsional constant of the spring. So deflection is not affected by weak magnetic field of the earth. So as we all know, earth has magnetic field, so everywhere in the earth there is magnetic field, but when we use this galvanometer it is not affected by that magnetic field because the magnetic field of the earth is very weak as compared to the magnetic field we are using inside the galvanometer. Third advantage, when we switch off the current through the galvanometer, the pointers quickly come to its position, and this happens due to the eddy current. So this eddy current we don't need to understand much right now because we'll study this in upcoming chapters. So disadvantage of a galvanometer, as we have said, the sensitivity can be increased by increasing the number of turns or the area of the coil, but when we increase the number of turns or area, the weight of the coil becomes more and the coil become bulky, and magnetic field cannot rotate that coil easily. And when we increase the area or number of turn, the resistance of the coil also increases, due to which the current flowing through the galvanometer get affected and it cannot measure that current properly. And this spring which we are talking about, torsional spring, is made out of phosphor bronze because it is a good conductor of electricity. As we have seen before that the spring connects the coil with the external terminal, so it should be a good conductor of electricity. It has elastic property, so due to which it comes back to the original position. It is non-magnetic. As we all know, we are using strong magnet inside a galvanometer, so this is non-magnetic, which is not affected by the magnetic field inside the galvanometer, and it does not get oxidized because it is an alloy, so alloy do not get oxidized easily, and it has small torsional constant. As we know, we can increase the sensitivity by decreasing the value of K. So for this phosphor bronze, the value of K is small, so that is why we prefer this material to make the spring.